I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Directors of the Waste Reduction District of Monroe County, Thursday, February 8th, 2024, to order. I will note that we have Commissioner Givens, Commissioner Thomas, and Councilmember Piedmont Smith, and Jeff McKim, me in person. So we do have an in-person quorum. We also have Mayor Carrie Thompson on Zoom. So we'll be working under hybrid rules. All right, so let's move on to Executive Committee meeting minutes. This is not a voting item from January 4th, 2024. Is there anything, Ms. Martin, that you would like to call our attention to? Okay. Sorry. That's okay. We did discuss this at the Executive Committee meeting. Any comments from the left or from the right or on Zoom? Okay, now we'll move on to approval of the Joint Board of Director and CAC meeting minutes from December 14th, 2023. I guess we did discuss this at the Executive Committee meeting as well. Any comments from the right? Or from the left? Or from Zoom? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I move approval of the Joint Board of Directors and CAC meeting minutes of December 14th, 2023.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote, please.
McKim?
Yes.
Thomas? Yes. Piedmont Smith?
Yes.
Swafford is not here. Givens?
Yes.
Jones?
I actually don't see her on Zoom either.
Thompson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we have the approval of Board of Directors meeting minutes from January 11th, 2024. Any comments from the right? From the left? From Zoom. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I move approval of the Board of Director meeting minutes of January 11th, 2024. Second.
Motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote.
Thomas? Yes. Piedmont Smith?
Yes.
Givens?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
McKim?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to the Controller's report. And actually, we have the Controller substituting for Mr. McGlasson today. I want to begin with cash flows.
All right. The cash flow summary is on page 11 of your packet. A revised summary was sent to you in the weekly email yesterday that included the claims for approval. The change on the revised summary was just the inclusion of the landfill post-closure account because we didn't have the statement for that to get that in the original summary. The operating balance as of January 31st was $4,040,708.97. The closure bond debt balance was $10,515.59. The January 31st balance for the capital account was $45,724.99, and the landfill post-closure account was at $763,275.93. The individual cash flow statements for each of those are on pages 12 through 16 of your packet, and the operating fund graph is on page 14. The landfill post-closure cash flow was also included in that email that was sent to you yesterday, I believe on page 12. Questions on the account balances?
Great, thank you. I believe, please.
Okay. My mic stopped working. There. Oops. Nope.
No?
It's blue. It's flashing blue. Okay, thank you, Mr. McKim. So my question is about the shortfall in the debt closure bond debt account that we discussed at our January 11th board meeting. That there was an unexpected amount due. I think it was $150,000. And so we had to borrow from our operating funds to cover that payment. Could you give us an update on that, please, Ms. Martin?
The money was transferred So it's, you know, it was put into from the operating account into the bond debt account, and then we're doing an additional appropriation for those funds. Specifically, is there any,
Okay, so I had conferred with Counselor McKim before the meeting that on the county council agenda for this coming Tuesday, there is the transfer of funds, approving that interfund transfer.
correct,
And that was 18,000 approximately?
roughly?
Okay. So I just wanted to, state that for the public, that interfund transfer is going for retroactive approval to county council on Tuesday. And then later in the year, when we have to make another bond payment, we'll have to request an additional appropriation. Is that correct?
No, I think I don't think we will have to do another appropriation for that.
Because what I had from looking at the meeting minutes from January 11th, all right, well, I'm a little confused at this point.
Can I address this?
Ah, Mr. McGlasson.
Please.
Can you guys hear me?
Sort of.
Okay, so we actually, we will not need to seek an additional appropriation. What we're going for on the 13th to the county council is just approval of a fund-to-fund transfer of those funds. The shortfall is due to the tax disbursement in December being less than what was anticipated, but the budgeted expenditures for 2024 are accurate, and we just need the money in the bank. We will not need an additional appropriation to make the payments due in 2024.
Okay, so we had enough money in the appropriated in the operating budget to cover that shortfall?
We're transferring a cash reserve fund.
So
And that's what the county council is being asked to approve on Tuesday.
Right, so I think Councilmember Piedmont Smith was correct there, that we already had the budget, we already had the appropriation, you just needed the cash.
Correct, yeah, the appropriations are in the debt budget, not the operating budget. We just needed to move the funds from the operating account into the debt account.
All right, thank you for clarifying that. And the overall unpredicted shortfall was about $18,000, is that right?
No, the actual shortfall was a little over $8,000. The reason for the $18,000 transfer was because the type of checking account that the debt fund money is in requires a minimum $10,000 balance to not incur unnecessary fees that we don't want to incur. So we're moving enough money to maintain that minimum operating balance.
Okay, so the shortfall was only about $800, but we're moving $18,000 to stay within the parameters of that bank. It was 8,000.
8,000, yeah.
Yeah, the shortfall was a little over 8,000.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions on cash flow? From Zoom? Somebody's hand is up. That's still Tom's. All right, let's move on to payroll and claims.
On page 17 of the packet, you have a total for the payroll and claims that was approved since our last meeting in the amount of $142,831.18. Documentation for those claims is in the packet on pages 18 to 24. Yesterday, you received an email with additional claims processed the week of February 5th in the amount of $105,960.16. That amount included claims approved under Resolution 2022-02 in the amount of $43,485.05. Payroll of $24,770.08. Payroll claims of $11,410.81. Longevity of $302.04, and claims for board approval in the amount of $25,992.18. That brings the total of all of the payroll and claims that we are recommending for approval to $248,791.34, as reflected on that payroll claims summary that was emailed yesterday. Questions on those claims?
Thank you. Just really quickly, I just want to acknowledge for the record that Commissioner Lee Jones is attending the meeting and is in Zoom. Our Teams, sorry. I'm so used to calling it.
We have an unknown user that's got their hand raised.
Is that somebody who's staff, or is that a member of the public that we can call on them for public comments? Yeah, I want to get questions first because there may be questions on payroll and claims. Nope. Any questions on Zoom? Okay, then we'll go to the public for comment on payroll. Oh, I'm sorry, we do need a motion, sorry.
I'll move approval of payroll and claims as presented in our meeting packet with the addendum that was mailed yesterday.
Second.
A motion and a second. So we'll go to the public for public comment. Is there anyone here in the Nat U Hill room that would like to make a comment on payroll and claims? Seeing none, we'll go to Zoom. Actually, that other hand went down. Is that Mr. McGlasson's hand that's still up on Zoom?
It might.
Does your number end with 02?
0402, yes.
Okay. All right. Do you want to make public comment on payroll and claims?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Seeing nobody else, we'll do a roll call vote.
Piedmont Smith,
Yes.
Githens,
Yes.
Jones,
You're muted, Lee.
Sorry,
There we go.
yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
McKim,
Yes.
and Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you. Okay. So now we'll go on to the proposed CAC bylaws amendments. And looks like Mr. Winia is going to address that.
No.
It doesn't sound like it.
Can you hold it down for a minute? See if it'll turn on to green.
It'll turn green in a second if it's blue.
Oh, mine came back.
Yep.
Green.
There you go.
Hello, testing. Wow, thank you.
Okay. Got it.
Be patient.
All right, very patient. Afternoon, board members. Joseph Winia here from the Citizens Advisory Committee. So as per Article 7 of our bylaws on amendments, the Board of Directors is to be provided an opportunity to review and provide feedback on any amendments proposed to the bylaws by the CAC. So as you can see, starting on page 26 of the packet, it's pretty simple changes. There's two of them. Well, overall, two conceptual changes. One is just the update to the name so that it reflects the new name. And that is on the first page of the bylaws. And then the second is on page 31 of the packet, which is just a simplification to the scheduling process. As you can see, it was previously to set the meeting date for the first meeting of every year, at the end of every year, and then at the first meeting of every year, set the meeting for the rest of the year. So we've decided to simplify that into just assuming a carryover and then just confirming it at the start of every year for scheduling purposes. So those are the proposed changes. And this is an opportunity for feedback if you have any.
Okay. Please.
A couple of things that just I think might need clarification, and they're not things that you actually revise. It's probably been there. So Article 4, Section 3 on eligibility, it says must hold only one office. Does that refer to you can't be secretary and vice chair at the same time?
Correct.
Is that what that means?
Precisely.
And so might want to change that to in this organization or something.
Okay.
Scrivener's error, Article 5, the first section, the last delineation under the first section should be F. There's 2 E's instead. Really minor stuff.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Yeah, and in that line in E, the first E,
First.
I would recommend adding something like the criteria in section A and B. I would say the criteria in A and B in this section are met, because it's not clear which A and B you're referring to.
Okay.
Really minor stuff, but I'm very happy to move forward with this, and I appreciate your work on it. It's
Excellent.
never ending. As you know.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Other comments? Anyone on Zoom?
Nope.
And so this is not something that the board votes on. This is something that the CAC votes on. This is
Right.
just our opportunity to give feedback to the CAC. So thank you very much also.
Absolutely. Thank you as
All right.
well.
And so I believe you have the next item as well, which is the CAC report.
Indeed. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Most significant change, I think, is that we had a change in leadership with our officer elections. So Matt Austin's now the chair, and I am serving as vice chair, and then our secretary is still John Arnold. And then we also confirmed our meeting schedule for this calendar year, which remains the same. And then I guess outside of the immediate CAC meeting, we also had participation in the initial organics task force meeting, which was just kind of preliminary, discussing goals and objectives and setting out kind of first steps for organizing and reaching out to stakeholders in the community. So that, and I guess I'll add to that, I added the 2023 activity and expense report is also included. It's not, strictly speaking, the same as the January activity report, but it's just a summary of the 2023 activities altogether, just for convenience. And yeah, all the content in there is available. I'll let you review it at your leisure rather than go through that all, since it's already been gone through over the course of 2023. So that is all I have for the CAC report.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's see if we have any questions for Mr. Winia. From the right. Thank you again to you and the other members of the CAC for your work, and look forward to continuing to participate in the organic waste task force.
Excellent. Likewise. Thank you all as well.
Great. Thank you. So we will now we move on to department reports, and Ms. Martin subbing in for Mr. McGlasson. Oh, good. Is Kayla online?
I am.
There's
Can you hear
Ms.
me?
Strand. We can.
There we go. I'm Kayla Strand. I'm the waste reduction specialist, and I will be providing the administration department report that Mr. McGlasson has provided an update for your review. No bills at this time that are specifically referencing the waste reduction district. It's all general. We have, right now we're working with Circular Indiana for an event that will occur sometime in early May. We're still working out the details for that, and they'll give us more details as we work. We're figuring that out with them. Mr. McGlasson and I are scheduled to do an assessment of a green business to help further our program with the Illinois Green Business Program. We're doing a shadow walk with them next week. And then we are continuing to do additional advertisement that is specific to the rebranding. And I am happy to try and address any questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the left?
No.
From the right? No. From Zoom? Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Strand.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to Mr. Long.
All right, sorry about that. So with the recycling and the reuse, we have provided new uniforms. I actually have one on myself, a new polo shirt for the staff. So all staff has new uniforms up where they're identified. So if they're out in public, you know, new customers, new businesses can identify who is helping them. The hazardous materials, the HHW facility is operating as normal. It's starting to pick up. Businesses with the weather cleaning up is getting a little bit busier. The parking lot's been busy all day today. I've been back and forth. The rural recycling centers, again, with the sites, with all the rain that we had, I don't know if you guys use any of our sites, but the parking lots has been just terrible. I've had our contractors out. I know they've been out at Ellettsville, Bethel Lane for sure, trying to clean up some of the potholes. The ground's just so soft and packing gravel in it. It's going to be an ongoing battle, I think, for the next couple months, but we are working on that. And that's about all I have. If you guys have any questions about anything, I will do my best to answer them.
Thank you. Questions from the right?
I have just a technical question. Mr. Long, did you and Ms. Strand both choose to not activate your video, which is fine, or are you not able to activate your video? I just want to make sure.
My camera says that I'm on, like I see myself. I don't know. I guess you guys can't see me.
No, we cannot.
And I had mine activated as well. I'm not sure why it didn't show up, but I could see myself through the Zoom video anyway.
Yeah,
right
they're
now
listed as presenters.
Can you see me?
Yes.
I can see Lee Jones, the courthouse guest, and myself. It's the only people I can see.
Huh. Okay.
I also have my camera on, but I can see that it's black.
All right, so we have some technical problems here.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I actually pointed the camera down to show you guys the new polo shirts, but I guess you can't see it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say. I want to see the shirt. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Well, we'll try to get that fixed for next time. Or is there anything that our technical support can do now?
So we see Commissioner Jones.
Yeah.
I'm on my list. I'm just a meeting guest, and normally I'm not. So I don't know if that's part of the problem.
Yeah. So
Like,
in Zoom, we used to have panelists versus guests.
yeah.
But he's definitely listed as a participant. He's above the line.
I don't know.
Well, okay, that's definitely something we do need to figure out. Another one of the challenges of moving platforms. Well, thank you. We do look forward to seeing the polo shirts. So. All right. Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, I noticed that our expected revenues from glass is almost at 100% after 1 month. And so I wondered what was going on. Can you fill us in a little bit on that? From the glass recycling. Sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, sorry.
There you are.
Oh.
So I don't know if you know, but we've started mixing the clear and brown glass. So we're having to haul it less now, and the boxes are fuller. So the transportation is down. The transportation cost is down on that from what it was going up to strategic, you know, by itself. Plus we are getting more per box, and that's helped out the revenue quite a bit.
Thank you.
The cost of it.
Which cell, were you looking at a particular cell in one of the spreadsheets?
Yes.
But you don't have to do it now. I was interested in finding out. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd be interested where you see that, Commissioner Givens.
It was actually in the, oh boy.
I only see 2023 figures.
If you go to page 12 of our packet, under glass recycling, which is the fourth line down.
Oh.
Oh, the cash flow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think,
Revenues.
can I,
Yeah.
Okay, so that may be some, without knowing for sure, that may be some back payments that Strategic owed us from in the past
Yes.
from 2023, and we actually got the checks in.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
Great, thank you. All right, any other questions on from Mr. Long, including from Zoom?
No,
Nope,
I don't.
see any.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll
Thank
move
you.
on to Mr. Paulson.
Hello. I don't know if you can see me. I can't see anything other than
We can see
I
you.
see. Okay. All right. Just the highlight I try to tell you guys about is that we finally got all the statistics back from the November groundwater from AECom. I submitted that a couple days ago officially. So that's all done. There was nothing that was out of line from previous sampling events. We had no new detections. Everything was within our winter normal. So it was pretty uneventful, which is a good thing. So obviously everybody kind of is aware of the rain and stuff like that after we had that bad frost. So getting the treatment plant up and going. We've had a couple technical things with a float was bad. So we've had a couple things that have kind of slowed us down getting going, but we're fully operational now and everything is going the way it needs to be going for January, early February. Even though it seems warm outside temperature-wise, that water is still very cold, which hinders the treatment process, and the bugs aren't as effective to clean the water the way that they're supposed to. So we're not doing crazy amounts, but we're operating. I think as of today, we're over 4 cycles a day, which is pretty good, pretty good for this time of year. So we've been hauling a little bit, but not very much, but trying to make sure that we stay ahead of it in case we do get a rain event that gets kind of rough. So we had a fair amount of Adopt a Road cleanups and a couple community members doing some stuff in between the cold sprint and January. So we're happy to see that. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from Mr. Paulson from the right? From the left? And from Zoom?
No, I don't.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, so now we move on to public comment on items that are not on the agenda. Are there any members of the public here in the Nat U Hill room who would like to make public comment? I see none. Is there anyone on Zoom who'd like to make comment? No. I do see still Mr. McGlasson's hand raised, but I'm assuming he just hasn't lowered that. Anyone else, any other members of the public on Zoom would like to make comment?
Yeah, sorry, I thought that I'd lowered that. I don't have any comment.
That's
Thank
okay. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to comments from directors. Any from the left?
No, I just want to remind people that I'd like to have a discussion about ways we might use the landfill. Have that discussion sometime. I know Mr. Glasson is looking into it a little bit, but I don't want us to forget about that.
Thank you. Yep, I agree. Comments from the right?
I would say I agree regarding the landfill, but I also would ask that packets be loaded to the county calendar with the Teams link so that they're easier to get to for the public.
That certainly makes sense. Other comments from the right? Any comments from our directors on Zoom?
No, not today. Thank you.
No, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. With that, we are adjourned.